Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Evolve, the place where all is welcome, regardless of your opinions, your thoughts, ideas, beliefs, and your feelings, where you're never outcast for being who you are. So, today's episode, I wanted to do a recap on a topic that we've already discussed, and that topic is awareness of domestic abuse, labor, and human trafficking. And that is that I want us to be reminded and keep focused on these victims that are in this situation. So I want to do this topic every now and then. I'll do a recap of this topic so that we are aware of the abuse and the labor and human trafficking in your state where you're at. So, shall we begin? In the world, someone is being abused every minute. Many of the victims are abused by their partners. Many are women, but men are also ending up being victims as well. What is domestic abuse? This can be a disruptive behavior that includes physically harming another person, shouting or yelling at a person to the point they're in fear of you, withholding money or isolating a person, being manipulative and controlling a person, holding a person hostage, preventing them to call for help or leaving. All these are domestic abusive behaviors. Now let's take a look at some known abusive behaviors. One, for instance, is emotional abuse. Isolating one from friends and their loved ones, criticizing everything one does and belittling, using obscenities and profanities, damaging one from a relationship with their kids, monitoring a person and everywhere they go, how often or how long one should be gone. Whenever you leave your abuser expects you to ask permission. Being jealous and pretty much controlling you or your life are all emotional abusive behaviors. And then we have psychological abuse. Well, what is psychological abuse? Mind games, intimidation, bullying tactics over the victim, acting macho and a tough guy to, scare your victim, threatening to do harm or destroy property the victim has, threatening to harm their loved ones if the victim tells about the abuse to someone, isolating one from friends and their loved ones. Those are all psychological abusive behaviors. Then we have economic or financial abuse, keeping the victim from money or means to leave the abusive relationship, not allowing one to work or make money to leave or achieve goals or attend, whatever activities they want to, school, church, whatever it may be. Those are all economic or financial abusive behaviors. Then you have physical abuse, hitting, shoving, pushing the victim, punching, kicking, and keeping one from seeking proper medical care, damaging telephones to stop one from communicating or any ways of communication. Any force to the victim is physical abuse. So, I'm in a domestic abusive relationship. How do I get out? Getting out of a domestic abusive relationship isn't easy, especially if the person is the one, especially if the person, your abuser, is the one who has the financial say, who has, all the say over the money in the relationship or marriage. It can be hard, but let me tell you, it's no reason to remain in that relationship. From experience, you can leave. And to leave, you have to make the decision that you're not accepting the abuse anymore. There is help, and there are advocates who can help see that you're somewhere safe. You won't need money right away. Get yourself safe, and once you're safe, you can get the help to gain back your independence. The number will be provided in this episode. And that's a start. So I want to, once again, if you're in an abusive relationship, you can get out. Don't let money or any other reasons be the means for you staying in that relationship. You can leave, and make sure that whom you're speaking to keep yourself safe is an advocate. Make sure that there are really advocates that are helping you get out of your situation. Because every day someone is losing their life to domestic violence. It's real, and you have to get out. Abusers see only one way, and that is to abuse. Even if you're being sexually abused, it's wrong. Now let's discuss human trafficking is wrong. Your abuser deserves prison time if you're being trafficked, and will do prison time for the abuse that is caused. It's wrong, and no one deserves to be held in bondage to abuse or sexually being sexually abused. So, what is human trafficking? Recruiting or transporting one forcefully to perform some type of sexual act, including holding one hostage against their will, forcefully engaging them to do some type of sexual act in exchange for money. If someone is having you sell or trade your body for items or money to pay off debts or use you to make them money, it's wrong and it's against the law to do that to any woman, man, or child. If a person isn't selling themselves or placing themselves in that situation, then they are breaking the law by placing another person in that position. It's against the law. Again, it's against the law. And it's wrong for every street pimp, every fitness gym or spa or nail salon, including restaurants, to harbor victims of labor trafficking, working in places without getting paid, mainly those from foreign countries. Just a few known businesses to harbor trafficking activity of innocent young men and young women. When will it stop? When will a mother stop crying because her son or daughter isn't coming home because of being held hostage to a trafficker or a pimp? It's wrong, and not enough is being done. If you see a young man walking into a gym, a fitness gym in girls' short shorts, what do you think he's going in there for? Or a young lady, not to work out. For those within the community, open your eyes. These are someone's kids. Our kids could be your son or your daughter or mother or brother in that situation. In the United States alone, there are 15,000 to 50,000 women and children forced into sexual slavery every year, and unknowingly of the young men forced. So they unknowingly, they don't even know. You don't even know how many young men are being forced as well into this way of life. There have been 176 human trafficking cases in the state in which I reside. Seems low compared to that of California, Texas, and Florida, but that's just from cases reported in the beginning of 2022. And the statistics resulting in no new cases. And it starts not only with authorities to resolve the issue, but it starts with the community. Let's end abuse in both domestic labor and human trafficking. Yes, it's all abuse and it's wrong. It is not right to sell or make money off children or anyone. It's against the law and it's a felony. If you're in an abusive relationship and are being trafficked, you are not the one doing the wrong. It's your abuser who is in the wrong. They know better, but greed is what they're running after. It's not your fault and you're not doing anything wrong. Please know what they're doing to you is wrong, and know there are people who are fighting not just for you, but with you. It's time we fight for our youth, for our future, and for them to know their bodies are sacred. No one should violate them in any way. No means no, and that includes adults. So, saying that, if you're experiencing abuse or are being trafficked, please call for domestic abuse. It is 1-800-799-7233. Again, it's 1-800-799-7233. For labor and human trafficking. Call 1-888-373-7888. Again, it's 1-888-373-7888. Or for SMS, you can text 233-733, text help or info. Again, text 233-733, text help or info. And that will bring us, that will close this episode. We will have part 2 of labor and human trafficking, but I want to once again tell you, you do not have to stay in an abusive relationship. Please get yourself safe and get yourself out and get yourself out, and make sure that you're speaking with an advocate. It is an advocate, a real advocate that you're speaking with to help you get out of that situation. I want to dedicate this to all the victims in that situation, and I want to dedicate this to a friend who is also in an abusive relationship. I promised her I would always make awareness about abuse, labor, and human trafficking. I told her I would always, bring awareness, even if we shall, not be in the same place or same state. I would always promised her that I would do that. So this is Tia Londa, and I want to thank you for listening in on this podcast. And if you suspect someone is in need of these services, don't hesitate to help. You may be the only person who does help them. So let's greet again on the next episode of Evolved.